Welcome to Middle Class Matters. Business news in English from Dr. CMA Allegation. Adani's response to Hindenburg Research Report on Adani stock manipulation and accounting fraud. Read in full. Part number 9 continued. 33. Allegation number 61. Listed company Adani Enterprises paid $100 million to a company ultimately held by a private trust of the Adani family in the British Virgin Islands, a notorious Caribbean tax haven, with the claimed rationale being to pay a security deposit to use an Australian coal terminal. Why did the listed company need to pay such lucrative fees to Adani private interest? Answer. Hindenburg seems to suggest that simply because two parties are related, transactions between them cannot be for arm's length consideration. It has clearly been disclosed by us that North Queensland Export Terminal Pty Limited, formerly known as Adani Abort Point Terminal Pty Limited, NQXT, is a related party of Adani Mining Pty Limited, a step-down subsidiary of Adani Enterprises Limited, and transactions between them are related party transactions. Hindenburg has also conveniently failed to mention that NQXT is a multi-user terminal and Adani Mining Pty Limited is one of more than 9 major long-term customers of NQXT. As part of any long-term take or party pay contract for accessing the port infrastructure such as NQXT, users typically provide credit support in order to secure their obligations. In this case, as fully disclosed, Adani Mining Pty Limited paid NQXT a security deposit to secure its obligations under the long-term take or pay contract. The amount was neither charged nor was a fee, as incorrectly alleged in the report. Instead, Hindenburg seemed to suggest, in flagrant violation of standard governance requirements for related party transactions, that simply because two parties are related, NQXT, which is a separate corporate entity and subject to the regulations of Australian Securities and Investment Commission, should have provided long-term access to the terminal for no security deposit or charges at all, rather than a contract on arm's length basis. 34. Allegation number 60. Why have listed Adani companies paid private Adani entity, Adani Infrastructure Management Services, INR 21.1 billion, $260 million over the past 5 years, given that the listed company's business is also managing infrastructure? This allegation stems from a complete lack of understanding the manner in which businesses are carried out by large companies in these sectors, with suggestions that merely because they manage infrastructure business, they cannot outsource parts work or enter into contracts for obtaining these services from other related parties who specialize in providing such services. It further flows from a complete lack of understanding of these complex businesses which require specialized services and management which cannot at all times be housed in the same corporate entity. Adani Infrastructure Management Services Limited, AIMSL, is such a specialized service provider for the Adani companies. AIMSL is a pioneer in operation and maintenance of key assets in India's power sector, with all required manpower and qualifications to be able to provide such services to the Adani companies on arm's length terms. Currently, AIMSL is operating AGEL, ATL and APL assets spread across multiple states such as Rajasthan, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, etc., and is being managed by experienced resources. Annexure 11 sets out further details about AIMSL and their credentials. 35. Allegation number 9. What is the extent of the Adani Group companies and any Vinod Adani related entities dealing with Jatin Mehta? There are no business relationships or business dealings with Mr. Jatin Mehta. 36. Allegation number 15. Adani has worked extensively with international incorporation firm AmiCorp, which has established at least 7 of its promoter entities, at least 17 offshore shells and entities associated with Vinod Adani, and at least 3 Mauritius-based offshore shareholders of Adani stock. AmiCorp played a key role in the 1MDB international fraud scandal, according to the book $1 Billion Whale and the US legal case files, along with files from the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. Why has Adani continued to work closely with AmiCorp despite its proximity to a major international fraud and money laundering scandal? AmiCorp is a recognized firm that provides secretarial services to various entities and corporate groups from across the globe, and not just the Adani portfolio entities. More details for Adani Corp and its portfolios are available at http://www.amikcorp.com. We are not concerned with these completely unrelated scandals that you referred to in a blatant attempt to build a false narrative around our group. Hindenburg can write to AmiCorp to seek the response, if it so wishes, about any scandal they believe AmiCorp is involved in. 37. Allegation number 19. Trust-linked CEO touts its close relationship with Adani. The same Trust-linked CEO was previously alleged by the DRI to have been involved in a fraud using shell companies with Adani. What are the full details of trade-linked CEO dealings with the Adani Group, including those detailed in the DRI investigative records? TrustLink is also a firm providing secretarial services to various entities and not just the Adani portfolio, including for incorporating companies in Mauritius, and in the course of such services also acts as director in the Mauritius entities. The TrustLink CEO is not a director in any of the entities in the Adani portfolio. We have already responded on the DRI investigations in detail above. Unfortunately, Hindenburg's report seems to include characterization of what is a history of individuals' job listings on LinkedIn as studs of a close relationship, which stems from lack of understanding of laws in relevant jurisdictions and of the existence and work done by independent firms providing secretarial services in these jurisdictions. 38. Allegation number 24. Adani chose Monarch Net Worth Capital to run OFS offerings. An Adani private company has a small ownership stake in Monarch, and Gautam Adani's brother-in-law had previously purchased an airline together with the firm. This close relationship seems to pose an obvious conflict of interest. How does the Adani respond? 39. Allegation number 25. Why did Adani choose Monarch Net Worth Capital, a small firm previously suspended and sanctioned by SEBI over allegations of market manipulation, to run the offerings rather than a large, well-respected broker? Common response. Monarch Net Worth Capital Limited (MNCL) was selected, as fully disclosed in the public domain, for their credentials and ability to tap into the retail market. More details around Monarch are available at https://www.mnclgroup.com. Monarch's suspension that has been alluded to was 1 month suspension more than a decade ago in 2011 and has no further relevance to their appointment for the OFS. It may be noted that several other banks, including international banks, have been subjected to similar or lengthier suspensions in the Indian market. This fact has been deliberately omitted by Hindenburg. With nearly 3 decades of experience in retail broking, institutional equities, investment banking, fund management, global access, and wealth and third-party product distribution, They are an award-winning brokerage house with accreditations as the best regional retail broker by NSE in 2018. The company was also awarded as the top performing member in the cash market for 2015-16 by NSE, that is National Stock Exchange. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please share it to your friends as educational for educating your friends. Thanks for watching.